I now recognize Representative Brian Mast of Florida for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good to see you out of the gym. Madam Deputy Secretary, thank you for your time here today, your testimony, and for offering your expertise on diplomacy, as I will be asking you questions on diplomacy. To begin, your assessment of just being tactical in diplomacy. Is our diplomacy more easily conducted if America is in a stronger position, and likewise more difficult to conduct if America is in a weaker position?
Of course, one always does better in diplomacy when we are strong, and as the President of the United States said last night, we are strong. Does
Europe's dependency upon Russian energy put them in a weaker position?
No, my European colleagues have shown extraordinary courage. Their economic interaction with Russia is much more profound than ours is.
Define profound, please.
Excuse me?
When you say profound, expand on that.
What I mean by that is that they have trading and commercial relationships with Russia that we do not, as well as energy relationships, as you've pointed out. And so for them to have taken the steps that they have really can come back on them in much more profound ways, even than it can come back on us. As the President said last night, we have worked very hard, first and foremost, to mitigate anything that might hurt American citizens. We have tried to make sure that the consequences are felt by Russia, not by us. And similarly, we have worked with Europeans and others around the world, because it's not just Europe, to make sure that it is Russia that bears the
For instance, to your word profound would be Turkey having a direct pipeline between them and Russia in order to obtain energy. That would be an example of profound in that situation.
I certainly think that the energy flows are very critical, and I think that we have seen a great courage, certainly when Chancellor Scholz announced in essence that NS2 was dead, and now we have seen the company behind NS2 declare bankruptcy yesterday.
We should be able to say
that was a courageous step.
Madam Deputy Secretary, they are in a weaker diplomatic position because of their dependency in early March, cold temperatures, what's going on. That is a weaker diplomatic position.
You know, I don't just define strength or weakness by economic relationships. It is what courage people have to act in their interest, their national security interest, even if there are costs engaged. And for me, that is courage and that is strength.
I think we find agreement in that, ma'am, but the level of courage is tempered by the amount of dependency upon foreign fuels. The level of courage is tempered, and the resolve of the world by the fact that Putin has nuclear weapons. We would be naive to argue otherwise, in my opinion.
Without a doubt, we all take that into consideration. We all consider not escalating a situation that might get out of control. That is all true.
Said very diplomatically.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I want to ask some opinion about how you believe the Ukraine war should end. Should Europe and the West divest, Western Europe and the Western world divest of Russian energy, in your opinion?
You know, I think that there's a lot of rethink, and there will be, about energy security worldwide. I think you had heard from the President last night that, combined with other countries around the world, we've done a release of strategic petroleum reserves of 60 million, 30 million from the United States.
But no was your answer.
But I do think that the whole world is rethinking energy security over the long term. There will be a transition era. It is not only in our national security interest because of situations like what we're currently facing, but it is in our national interest because climate change requires it.
Should, because of Putin's nuclear posturing, which we could go in depth in a number of different venues, the world demand a Russian nuclear demilitarization following this conflict?
We have long urged that there be a build-down of nuclear weapons worldwide. I support and worked for President Obama and his ambition, certainly not in my lifetime,
One last
we get to
question before
zero.
my time runs dry here. Because of their invasion, their violation of Ukraine's sovereignty, should we demand a demilitarized zone along all Russian borders?
I think we should consider everything. That is not one I have thought about, Congressman, but certainly will take your suggestion under advisement.
Thank you for your responses.
Gentleman's time has expired.